This is so crazy. Hey everyone, it's Joe, and I'm the Kosher Ninja. We've been chatting about my adventure last year hiking on the Shvil Israel, or Israel National Trail. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. While you're here, go check out my videos from the Shvil, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified whenever I post new videos. But right now, we're going to talk about success on the Shvil. This is totally crazy. Exactly 1 year ago this week, I boarded a plane to Israel where I was going to do some last minute prep and hit the Shvil. It seems like a lifetime ago. I can't even remember. The world has completely changed, and I don't need to tell you that. I mean, no, you can't even barely board a plane anymore. And Israel has been totally closed to non-citizens for several months with limited exceptions. And as we speak, they're considering going into a second complete lockdown. I was actually hoping that the Israelis among you would at least be able to do the Shvil this hiking season, even if we foreigners can't. But even that seems questionable right now. However, in the hopes that maybe at least you Israelis could still hike this fall, and then maybe we foreigners would be allowed in by the spring, I wanted to talk about success, just as an encouragement to us to keep hoping, dreaming, and planning for our adventures. The Red Book has a heading, "Planning is key to a successful hike." So clearly this is important, but the fundamental question really is, what is success? It's a funny word, and it's misunderstood and overused in today's world. We talk like there's some kind of one-size-fits-all definition that's success. But success doesn't exist in a vacuum, and guess what? It's different for everyone. The Oxford English Dictionary defines success as the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. By the way, did you know that success used to mean failure? I'm not kidding. The Oxford Dictionary again includes an archaic definition for success: the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. So if you failed at something, that means you were successful, just badly. So to determine if someone is successful or not, you really need to know what the original goal was. What was the aim of the undertaking? As far as success on the Shvil is concerned, we talked about this a little bit a couple of videos ago, but let's go a little deeper. I think we generally assume that success means actually completing the Shvil. After all, that's probably the easiest thing to conceptualize and measure. But don't forget that only about 40 to 50% of those who set out on the Shvil actually complete it. I'm not talking about day hikers or section hikers. I'm talking about Shvilistim, those who actually set out to walk all the way from Dan to Eilat or Eilat to Dan. Only about 40 to 50% finish it. But does that mean that the others are not successful? Well, before you despair, the one and only way that you can be guaranteed not to be successful on the Shvil is to never try. Beyond that, everyone's goals and journey are different, and your success depends on your reason for being out there in the first place. Some people are out there in order to complete a physical challenge. Another goal might be to cut another notch on your hiking belt, or maybe to attempt a record of some sort. For these people, success means walking every inch, and they'll plan their hike accordingly. But very few of us, in the final analysis, really want to complete the Shvil as an end in itself. Most people have other goals, and the Shvil is really just a means to achieve those goals. Some very common reasons for being out there are that people want to have some time and space to deal with personal issues, maybe personal tragedy, or to work through some grief or mourn, or maybe to get answers to questions about life, career, or a midlife crisis. You might be celebrating a milestone like finishing your military service or a birthday like some people. Maybe you just want to experience a different side of Israel or meet new people and make new friends and enjoy the camaraderie. So you could get on the Shvil to deal with a personal tragedy and end up making a speed record, but never sort your head out. Sure, you just finished the Shvil in record time and got your name in the history books, in the record books, until the next guy or gal comes along. But your Shvil wouldn't be a success because you never sorted your head out. On the other hand, popular belief would say that bailing or quitting before you finish the Shvil represents failure. We've talked before about how you might have to leave the Shvil early due to poor planning or poor training, but it can just as well be due to injury, illness, personal tragedy, or something so far out of your control as a global pandemic. I certainly don't think it's fair to call any of those things a failure. You know, it's kind of like life. We're all here on this strange blue ball hurtling through space in the middle of nowhere. Although actually I think the technical address is one Milky Way galaxy, the universe, the cosmos, in the middle of nowhere. And wherever we are, it doesn't seem that we're actually in the middle. But that's besides the point, which is that none of us, not a single one of us, knows or has any control over how long we're going to be here. We think we do, but we don't. And this hit very close to home a couple of weeks ago when my cousin passed away suddenly and with no warning at the age of 24. So when our time is up, the question is, this life that we've been given, was it a success or a failure? And how are we going to measure that? The media and the people who think they matter try to tell us that it's all about money, fame, status, power, a gold medal, Stanley Cup maybe. Yes, I did say Stanley Cup. After all, that's the only cup that matters, right? Besides, who are the Raptors and what's basketball anyways? So back to the Shvil. Some people leave before finishing because they've accomplished the goals that they had set for themselves in the first place. One of my section hiker buddies I've talked a lot about was out there because he wanted 4 or 5 days to reflect on a very difficult personal situation. I've talked about the water problems we had and that we ran into and how he left the trail the following morning. His aborting mission could be seen like it was a failure and the result of poor planning. But in his 2 days on the trail, he had actually found answers to the personal issues he was facing. So even as he told himself he was going to come back better prepared, Still, he left the trail disappointed, but satisfied and, I dare say, successful. For my part, I'm technically one of those 50% who failed because I ended up having to skip substantial portions just in order to keep my schedule and not cause injury or die from heat stroke. But that's okay. I don't look at it as a failure myself. It was a learning experience and so much more. Sure, I hope I'll have the opportunity for a do-over sometime, but I learned so much about how to manage my hike if I get that do-over that I can't possibly look at it as a failure. And also, I had so many things I was trying to accomplish. I actually started on Hermon, and I ended in Eilat, and hiked at least a little bit on each of the 3 sections, so the north, the central, and the desert. So with my physical challenges, I have to remember that that alone was a success. Let's face it, I celebrated my 50th birthday in epic style. I also wanted to show Israel some love and give people, you guys, a bit of a different perspective on Israel and maybe encourage others to try the Shvil. That's a lot. I think that latter might have been an epic fail because it turns out it seems that my videos have frightened at least one person from his plans. Although, considering he was planning to set out this past February, I think he may actually have dodged a bullet with the pandemic, so there's that. Anyway, I promise it was not my intention to discourage anyone. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You just need to prepare properly and go into it with the right mindset. So to be successful on the Shvil, you need to know what your goals are. Why are you heading out there? Then you need to plan and train accordingly with those goals in mind. And most importantly, keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on that reason why you're out there. Ultimately, we're all out there for an unforgettable experience. If covering every inch of the trail is going to ruin that experience for you because you have to rush to get through or you get injured, it's not worth it. You may have completed the Shvil, but you won't have any memories, or at least any positive memories to show for it. On the other hand, if you have to leave partway, but you've met amazing people, made new friends, and have exciting, funny, maybe even some sad stories to tell, you'll have something you can remember, relive, and enjoy for the rest of your life. So are you planning for the Shvil or for another trail? Why are you heading out? What does success look like for you? Tell me about it in the comments section down below. If you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell, and share with your friends. And if you've hiked the Shvil Israel or anywhere else in Israel, tell us about your successes and failures. We'd love to hear from you. So that's it for my direct Shvil wrap-up. If you have any other questions or issues that you'd like me to talk about that I haven't discussed, put those in the comments and we will come back to it. I'm not abandoning the Shvil. It's part of me forever. But I am moving on to something new and exciting, and I can't wait till next time to tell you more about it. So until then, thanks for watching and shalom, eh?